This $350 unlocked smartphone from mainland China has turned some heads, but is the OnePlus One really a flagship killer? Now, if you can believe it or not, I think the most frustrating thing about this phone is how difficult it is to get your hands on one. If you can believe it or not, you need to be invited to buy the phone. And even after having received my invite, I had to wait 9 days and send several customer support emails before they got the phone shipped out. And that was even after paying for 2-day air shipping. It's just a small Chinese company and customer support is not really their focus, which is really a pretty big downside in my opinion. Other than that, the phone is spectacular. It comes in this beautiful packaging, as you can see. It's very Apple-esque, and the phone is obviously the forefront of such. Now, behind the phone, you'll find this little plastic insert, behind which is the micro USB cable, and you'll also find a SIM ejection tool. Now, I'm a little bit worried that function is trumped by design. If you look at the USB cable, it has a spaghetti-style type wrap around, and it looks really nice, but the cable is just not that good. It rolls back up. These ports are very sensitive. They don't charge very well. They don't make contact. It's just not a good cable. Not really that big a deal because these cables cost like 50 cents, but it is something that's kind of a little bit sad. Now, this SIM ejection tool looks awesome, but you're never really going to use that, so who cares? Now, as you pull the plastic off the device, you'll see the beautiful 1080p 5.5-inch IPS display. That is obviously the focus of this device. It is a beautiful display that is really on the Galaxy Note 3 and a couple of other competitive devices. This is also the first phone to run CyanogenMod out of the box. CyanogenMod has long been a ROM that us rooters have loved, but it's the first company that has chosen to ship CyanogenMod stock. So it does look very close to standard Android. You also find yourself with a beautiful 13 megapixel Sony CMOS sensor. And the phone itself is just a beauty. You can see this is the sandstone black model. It actually feels kind of sandy. It's the weirdest feeling phone I've ever felt. Now on the top, you'll find the headphone jack and the secondary mic for noise cancellation. On one side, you will find your sleep-wake button, which is amazingly well placed, if I do say so myself. On the other side, you'll find the volume rocker, which is also a really good positioning for it, and you'll find the SIM card tray. Now, as you swipe down on the phone, you're able to enter the phone's interface. It looks a lot like stock Android thanks to the fact you're running CyanogenMod. It's very responsive and very quick to the touch. I do notice that switching in between apps is a little bit slow, but I think it's because of transitions and not because the phone itself is lacking. It does, after all, have a Snapdragon 801 processor inside of it. Now, one of the quirkier things about the device is the device supports capacitive buttons that you can choose to use if you'd like, but you can also choose to use in lieu of the capacitive buttons on-screen buttons. And that's what I've selected solely because the on-screen buttons are the ice cream sandwich buttons. The ones they've put on the capacitive display, I don't understand why, but they're the old Android software buttons. They're not the new ones. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's how they did it. Anyway, you can see here that the CyanogenMod version is 11.0. It's running Android 4.4.2. And it does have a quad-core 2.5 gigahertz Snapdragon 801 processor with 3 gigabytes of memory, which is really rather impressive. You can see the demand for this phone is so high because today is the 8th of July and my phone was manufactured in China on the 2nd of July. My phone is 6 days old. So they really can't even meet the demand. Now, having CyanogenMod, they allow you to really customize it quite heavily. You can keep it very stock Android if you so choose, or if you also choose, you can make it how you want. You can change everything, really, honestly, with CyanogenMod. It's really great. Even the theming, even the boot animations if you want. So you can change a lot of stuff, and they even include a couple of theme packs, and you can buy some or download some from the Android market. This is the stock Android imitation. So we're going to boot this up just so you guys can see that you really can get a stock Android experience with a couple of quirks and improvements if you so choose with CyanogenMod. I mean, that looks about as ice cream sandwich as it gets. It's really quite nice. So you can totally customize the device to your liking or not customize it at all based on what you like to do. Now, it does have Google now, which is great because you'll also have support for the new Samsung and LG Google Wear watches, which I'll be doing videos on tomorrow. Now, this also means that you can change the toggles on your notification menu to your liking and in the order that you so choose, which is really a nice improvement over the stock Android. Now, the camera app on this thing is great. It's basically the stock camera with a couple of improvements. You can swipe up and down to change the filtering on the device itself. And as you can see, it shoots in a very high quality 13 megapixel file. When you're recording video, you can even shoot up to 4K if you so choose. I don't know if it looks any good yet, but I will be providing video footage tomorrow. All the other functions remain basically the same. There is a flash on and off. There's touch to focus. You can change the ISO, all that good stuff. The front-facing camera is also quite good. Don't mind the double chin. It is a 5 megapixel camera, so for your selfie action, it will be a little bit better than a couple of other phones out on the market. Now, it doesn't take quite as fast as the iPhone, but it does seem to take in pretty rapid motion, which is pretty nice to see as well. Obviously, you have your panorama and your stitching that you find in the stock camera apps, and you're also just able to shoot video by clicking the video button, which automatically records. We'll be doing more video footage tomorrow, but thank you so much for watching this video unboxing. If you liked, please thumbs up, rate, comment, and as always, stay snazzy.